in the studio, who is responsible for a lot of great music that you hear, especially when you tune in on to WCLK and you hear her on WCLK singing wonderful songs. And her name is Kathleen Bertrand. So will you please welcome her to Stolen Moments? Yes. Thank you so much for being here, and you are just a joy, and what you do for the city of Atlanta, for music, for film, the film industry, and we are so excited about what's happening and what's coming up. Welcome to Stolen Moments.
Thank you, and congratulations. This is a new side of you I didn't know about, so I love this for you.
Yes, well, thank you, and I'm glad to have you here. This is our second show.
Okay.
And we have you here. We're going to talk about an event that we're going to do together that's coming up at the church on May 6th. And that's, you're performing with Jacques Lejour.
Yes.
And it is a celebration, and this is taking place at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. How do you like afternoon shows?
I love them. I can go home and have dinner.
Yes, the show is called Jazz in the Afternoon, and it's taking place at Hopewell Faith Hall. And now that we're getting back to live music and entertainment, how do you feel?
Oh, exhilarated.
Yeah.
The live moment has been so grand because you get to interact with people that you know are appreciative of your music, but you haven't been able to see them. It's not that I did not perform during the pandemic. I did, but my performances were virtual.
Right.
So I have to kind of entertain myself, or with the musicians, we just go ahead and have the fun and the joy that we have in the music. But that joy is just amplified when you get a chance to connect with people in the audience and really get to feel what they're feeling and to know that they are receiving the music. So it's been just exhilarating.
Yes, and to be back in front of an audience,
Yes.
a live audience, and performing, and it makes you come alive and feel good. We get out of that pandemic that we've been in for the past really 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
Absolutely.
So you have, we went through a lot during this transition from dealing with the pandemic, but it's not although it's not totally gone. But you were still singing and performing, and you have a recording about voting, getting out to vote.
Yes.
The name of that song title is
My Vote is My Voice.
That was very.
My voice is my voice.
That's what I was wondering.
Yes.
But there's a very important message in that song.
Thank you.
Especially during the presidential election.
That's right.
And not just that, but to get people out to vote, because they were doing a lot to restrict people from voting.
That's
and
right.
This song speaks to the people.
That's right.
How did you manage to come up with that idea?
So that was a really interesting time, pandemic, almost the height of the pandemic. I was doing a couch concert for AARP. And I just had myself, I had Kenny Banks Sr. and Trey Gilbert was on bass.
Yeah.
And we were literally rehearsing to go live that night. And I said, hey guys, I have some lyrics that I've been kind of fumbling around with, and I'd like to just be able to just do something tonight as part of the show that wasn't really planned. And so I said, Trey, Kenny, can we just come up with a groove? And Trey actually started off with this amazing bass groove. I told him I wanted it to be a little funky. And Kenny added the chords that gave it texture. And in about 10 minutes, I started laying over the chords the lyrics that I had, trying to make them make sense. And by that night, we actually did the song live for the first time. We had not even gone through it all in that little afternoon session, but hearing it live that time just made me know that it was of value, because the song says, my voice is my choice. And so if I don't speak my voice with my vote, people will never know what it is that I have to say. That's really the genesis of the thought, to push that out. And so it was received so well during the couch concert that we went back into the studio to do a formal session to lay down the bass track, lay down the piano track, lay down the vocal track. John Roberts joined us
Yes.
on drums.
Yes.
And then I got the Melvin Jones
Right.
to do the horn lines
Yeah.
for me and do the horn arrangements. And he just blew it out,
Yeah.
literally and figuratively.
Yes.
And so that's the song that you hear that WCLK plays.
Yeah.
And it is timeless.
Yes, it
as
is.
long as we are of a mind to vote.
Right.
That song is timeless. And so I'm so grateful for you guys pushing it out for us.
Yeah.
And people stopping me and saying, I heard your voting song.
Yeah,
Great.
that's exactly what is referred to
Right.
as the voting song.
Yes.
And it speaks to the people because people, generations have gone through a lot to be able to vote.
That's
As
right.
you know, counting the jelly beans in the jar.
That's right.
All right? And,
That's right.
and then moving the voting polls somewhere else or
Or
closing
eliminating them altogether.
Exactly,
That's
as
it.
well as the mailboxes and all that. So
Yes,
thank
yes.
you for creating a song such as that so that every time, different states have different times when they're voting anyway. So
Yes.
it's a timeless tune.
Thank
And you have a number of albums out. There's All of Me, No Regrets, and Reasons for the Season.
Yes.
And you also record with the Dangerfield Movies, which is
Yes.
led by our very own Jamal Ahmed from
Yes.
WCLK, who does soul jazz on 91.9.
Yes, he called me out of the blue. This was 2018, I believe, or
Mhm.
so. And I had just finished doing a show in Alabama. I was doing a play, Ain't Misbehaving. And I got this call from Jamal, Miss Bertrand. That's how he calls me, Miss
Yes.
Bertrand. And he told me he had this song that he just heard my voice on. And the tie of it between the two of us is that Roy Ayers had recorded that song as well.
Right.
And I used to sing for Roy.
Yes.
So that kind of gave it another layer
Mhm.
of a unique bond. And so he sent me the music, he sent me the lyrics, and I just started listening to it and finding my space in it.
Yeah.
And then I went to the studio with them,
Yeah.
Mark and
Yeah.
Jamal, and recorded it. And it's gotten so much buzz and airplay,
Yeah.
and people just love it. And I'm so grateful. You know, that's a totally different generation from mine.
Yes,
You
but
know,
you
their
fit in well.
interpretation. And so I'm so grateful that we can have collaborative generational work.
Yeah.
I love being able to do things with young people.
Yeah.
I have young people that I birthed.
Yeah, it was twins,
I
right?
have twin girls and
Yeah.
sons, and so they're all millennials.
Okay.
And so being able to converse with them and have conversations with them is important. And I feel the same about music. I love doing things with musicians that aren't my age, that are of another age and have a different interpretation. Even the band that have played behind me for many years have generally been much younger musicians. I got that from Betty
But I
Carter.
was getting ready to say Betty Carter.
Betty Carter
Yes,
told
the
me to
one
do
that is.
that.
She said to me one time, yes, my name is Betty Carter, and I am the only one. I was like, okay. We were walking somewhere together,
Yes.
and someone thought I was Betty Carter. I was like, no.
She's the only one.
Yeah.
She's the only
Yes,
one.
indeed. She was a wonderful, great artist. And also about the Bronzeville Film Festival and your work with, you established this back in, what year was that?
2010 was our
2010.
first festival, actually established in 2009.
And tell us a little bit about the Bronzelands Film Festival and the workings of it and how people can submit their work.
Okay, all right. Bronzelands Film Festival was established to, first of all, I was working for the Convention and Visitors Bureau at the time that it was established. And it was created to give a voice to Atlanta as this place where people of color could realize their dreams in film through creation of film, through production, through writing, through acting in, through having a platform that told our stories our way. And there was not a film festival that was getting enough national buzz about Atlanta, this place, that looked at the stories of people that look like you and me. And so that's why Bronze Lens was established. We're coming up on our 14th festival this year, August of this year, and it's been a joy to receive the submissions of filmmakers from literally all over the world.
Right.
We started small with 23 films, and now we've last year we had films from 59 countries. And our story is the same, whether it's told from a Jamaican, or whether it's told from a Nigerian girl living in Poland, or whether it's told from somebody living in Los Angeles.
Right.
Our stories are so similar, and that's one of the things that we wanted people to see, that through our stories there is unity with everybody, because we're all so similar. We just have to take the time to stop and listen to each other and look at what we're doing. And so that's what the festival allows us to do.
Okay, so is the time for submission, is it up yet, or?
It ended 12 hours ago.
Oh my. Okay, so the festival, the Bronze Lens Film Festival is going to be taking place where?
It will be taking place August 23rd through 27th. We'll be at major theaters around the city, from AMC to Regal to Landmark, as well as some of our special events that we are still working on. But our website is bronzelens.com, BRONZELENS.com. And once our films have been selected, then you can go onto the site and see all of the films and know what's coming, when they're coming, who the director is, producer, etc., things like that, as well as the various activities that we have as a festival. We make sure that we honor our filmmakers, so that's the Bronze Lens Awards. We make sure that we honor women in film,
Yes.
so that's the Women Superstars Awards. So we have so many activities that just let filmmakers rise to the top, let them know that they're appreciated, and honor them for the work that they're doing.
Yes, indeed, and we honor you for the work that you're doing. Because when I attended, the last one that I attended was like, wow, look at everybody. Look at all the stars. How can I get in this? I was taking pictures and throwing myself in everyone's pictures and everything. And I was like, it was an actually amazing event. And congratulations, and continue to do what you do and honor all the jazz legends through your music. And we look forward to having you here on stage back on Cluster TV and the program Stolen Moments. Thank you, Catherine Gatton, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. Back. And Caral Albert, welcome to Stolen Moments.
Thank you.
Yes, and you're here to talk about your new recording, Magic Mirror, that we also play on WCLK. And there's one tune in particular, Paradigm Shift. And thank you for being here. So,
I'm so
welcome.
happy to be here.
Yeah, where are you from, first of all?
I'm from Georgia.
Okay, another
I'm
Georgia
Georgia
peach.
peach.
Like
I'm
Kathleen.
proud to be a Georgia peach, yeah.
Yeah, good. So now that you're a Billboard recording artist,
Yes.
how does it feel to be back?
It feels great. Feels great. You know, it's something that I really had kind of given up on the idea of ever happening for me, and
Mhm.
it just, you know, I had started in the 90s and I took some time off. Caral Albert, I started playing piano on my grandmother's knee, basically. She taught me how to play. I started playing by ear.
Mhm.
And so I grew up playing in the church. I grew up
Yeah.
playing all the way through high school and
Mhm.
college, and just always played.
So you did the junior high school choir and all that?
I've done everything. 4 recordings since 2016.
Wow.
And Magic Mirror. I'm going to do one more, which will be my 10th album. Then I'm
Mhm.
going to reevaluate, you know. But so I'm working on my new album, the 10th. But Magic Mirror, I just released in October
Okay.
2022.
Yeah.
And Paradigm Shift hit #1 Billboard. It's my
Yeah.
first #1 Billboard hit.
Yeah.
Yay!
Congratulations. Yeah. That must feel good.
My son said, you know, Mom, there aren't many people your age that can do this. And I said, okay. That's a compliment, sort of, but, you know, it is.
So you get to tour around the world, and so how does the spring and summer look for you as far as touring?
I'm not touring as much as I used to. With COVID, you know, everything's sort of getting started back.
Yeah.
I have some dates set up. I have something in Connecticut in November, then kind of back, and then I have some things in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a date in Elmira, New York at a festival, Elmira Festival, and working on some things for the other parts of the summer.
I saw you performing at Sweet Food Lounge. How was that for you?
Oh, I had a blast.
Aren't those
Yeah,
guys
no, I
amazing?
did. I had a blast. I had a great band,
Yeah.
and so we all had a really good time. Yeah, great players.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about this recording. Some of the artists who are featured on it. I see produced by Paul Brown and Roberta Valley, who I spoke with earlier
Right,
today.
yes.
So, what was it
Yeah.
like working with these guys?
Yeah, they're great musicians. Very honored to work with those guys.
Mhm.
And it has 10. I was going to do an EP, and then I decided to do the full 10.
Thank you.
And, it's an artistic thing, but I'm really happy with how the album turned out. I co-wrote with some with Roberta, I co-wrote with Paul Brown, and this other musician used to be with Paul and Oates, Shane Thoreau, and Magic Mirror is being promoted right now.
Okay.
And starting, just debuted on number 18 last week.
Okay.
Just after 3 weeks, so I'm hopeful that it'll keep climbing.
Well, I'm sure it will keep climbing to the top because we're going to keep playing your music on WCLK and sharing on your music, Caral Albert Magic Mirror, and you're going to play a couple of tunes for us.
I'm going to play a few tunes. I'm going to start out with Perfect Sunday because today is, of course, Sunday.
Yes.
And it is a perfect Sunday for me. I don't know about you.
Oh,
But
it is.
So I'm going to start off with Perfect Sunday.
Okay, well, go on and get it.
Okay.
Let's get ready. Caral Albert, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay,
All right.
love to.
Right, because it's all about the music, the arts, and the history of this music, and the music that we love and know as jazz, and smooth jazz, and we cover all the genres of the music. So thank you for being here. So
Thank you.
the cool, smooth, and contemporary sounds of Caral Albert. Thank you. And again, the late recording Magic Mirror. Get a copy. Thank you. Great music right here on Stolen Moments. And again, I'm glad to have all of you in the audience and my next guest, Dave Potter. Thank you for being here, Dave. It's been a minute, and there's been a lot going on, and Dave is on the phone again saying, Riva blew my interview. Riva blew my music. It's not on the radio yet. I don't hear it yet. When are you going to get me on? So I had to put you in front of a couple other people to make sure I got you. So I said, Dave, now here we are. Okay. So welcome to Stolen Moments.
My pleasure. It's awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. You are a drummer and a teacher, educator. And where are you teaching right now?
Mostly privately right now,
Mhm.
and then just sometimes I go to different schools, colleges, and do workshops, master classes, things like that.
Yeah, you were also mentored by the pianist
Marcus Roberts.
Marcus Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Let's talk about your CD first of all, and it's called Retro Groove. Now this CD, it has CDs, albums, we call them what we call them.
Yeah.
And you have some wonderful tunes here that is a remake of some classics like Through the Fire and Higher Love, and what else do we have? We have Kiss. That one, the Prince tune even says Roger Nelson on there. And it's a great CD. I can't help it. And it's brand new. We're playing it now on WCLK. And so what was it like making this recording? We have to continue to talk about the pandemic.
It's something I've been thinking about for a long time with jazz music. We grow up in the music playing a lot of standards, you know, songs from Broadway, songs from Tin Pan Alley, and those are amazing songs and they're timeless songs. But a lot of times nowadays, the farther we get removed from, you know, a certain generation, people just don't have as much connection to, you know, songs written by Cole Porter and songs written by Oscar Hammerstein and those amazing writers that were of that era. And a lot of times, you know, people would ask me and just different musicians I know, why don't y'all play something more modern or more contemporary, a song that we know? And that kind of got the wheels turned in my brain. And I started to try and figure out if there would be a way to play some more modern songs, but not stray away from what we would normally do in a jazz setting. Everything on there is an acoustic jazz quartet, bass drum, piano, and saxophone, and trying to straddle that line, you know, between keeping the essence of those original songs, but also doing what we would normally do on stage with the jazz standard. So hopefully we were able to kind of find that mark somewhere in the middle.
Well, I think you've done it. I think it's a wonderful recording. I've played it on the radio. You finally got heard.
Thank you.
And I was like, if I don't get this music on soon, Dave is just gonna have a fit. And I'm so proud of you and what you've done.
Oh, thank you.
And we will continue to share your music, and you're also going to perform a couple of tunes for us here as well. But tell us a little about who are some of your greatest influences playing this music?
Whew. That's always a hard question. One of my biggest influences is actually not a drummer, it's Thelonious Monk.
Oh yeah.
He's probably my favorite just musician of any genre, instrument of all. He's such an individual, and I think he really, you know, they say you play your personality. I don't think anyone played their personality as much as Thelonious Monk. But then all the, you know, great drummers throughout history, Papa Joe Jones, Frankie Dunlop, Philly Joe Jones, Ella Jones, Tony Williams, Jeff Watts. I mean, it's so many. Art Blakey, Max Roach. I could go on, and trying to listen to all the masters and take things from all of them, and pay respect to what they have given to the music.
When in your life did you decide that you were going to be this kind of drummer, or start learning playing this instrument, which is so musical? You know, what do you do without a drummer?
I got my first drum set when I was in high school, and my mom made me play in the band. I didn't want to play in the band, but she said, you need to play instruments so you'll be more well-rounded. And I thought drums was the easiest instrument.
It's round.
And I was, right, exactly, and it's round. I was sorely mistaken by it being easy. But I just felt, once I started practicing, and it just felt at home. I felt at home. I felt like this is what I was meant to be doing in my life, and that kind of, I still have the same passion for it and love for it 25 years later than I did back then. So
I found something out about drums that I didn't know about one day in Piedmont Park during the Atlanta Jazz Festival. The fellow technician, he was on stage and he was tuning the drums. And you know, I don't know everything, but I learned something about the drums that day and how you tune the drums and how important that is.
Yeah, and that's, so, you know, like when Mr. Ward tunes his guitar, he's tuning it to a specific note within the 12-tone scale that we play with. When we tune our drums, it's more about a specific sound or texture quality that you want, but that's very individual to each of us. And then the cymbals that we pick to kind of help for us to create our sound, and it has to do with the way that we play the drums and cymbals too, but those are the things that are definitely very specific to a drummer, and that's why a lot of times, you know, in previous generations, everybody would travel with their own drum set, but
Right.
really ever since 9/11, it's almost an impossibility a lot of times, unless you're doing a bus tour or a road tour. So, but pretty much everybody I know of still travels with their cymbals, because that, no matter what drum set you're playing on, you know, you can tune it, but you can also, you carry a little bit of piece of your sound with you when you have your own cymbals.
How important are the sticks when you're playing the drums?
I would say those are probably the least important, just in terms of, I mean, it's very important. You have to have, you know, I'm not a conguero, so I can play conga drums, but I'm not out there playing hand drums. So having, you know, functional sticks that aren't broken, but in terms of what type of stick it is,
Or what wood?
or what wood it is, I mean, some people get very particular with that stuff. I'm not as much of a gear person, gear freak, so I don't, you know, as long as they don't give me splinters and you know, they bounce off the drums and cymbals, I don't really pay it too much attention.
Because I have some bamboo growing in the yard. I was just wondering if I could
Bamboo?
convert it to some drumsticks.
You know, I don't know. They have bamboo drumsticks? I don't know. They might.
We'll find out. We'll check it out and see. Well, Dave, it's now time for you to take the stage.
Definitely.
Dave Potter and his latest release is called Dave Potter and Retro Groove, and he's going to take the stage and perform a couple of tunes with the band. Thank you.